The Browning High Power, one of history's most prolific handguns that helped popularize the double-column, single-feed magazine arrangement that now rules the world. It's a product of the genius of both Browning and Dieudonné, and these can still be found in the hands of military and police forces around the world. While nations like the UK have officially replaced them, they still have plenty in use and in inventory. Canada still uses them as their primary sidearm, as does Australia and many other nations as well.
The Canadian military is decommissioning the Browning high-power pistol as their weapon of choice for a sidearm. So now they have a surplus of guns. Guess what they're going to do with them? Welcome to another installment of Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel-like content and what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything's appreciated. Connecticut residents, plan on getting your Connecticut pistol permit? Please get your training and your paperwork turned in before July 1st. Because then after that, the training modification has been released, but there's some gray areas that have not been made clear, and it seems to be some real shenanigans being played by the state. If you have your permit, watch the expiration date, don't let it expire. There's a link to the online renewal portal for the state of Connecticut for permits in the description box. Keep an eye on that. Let's talk about this. And this is basically our neighbors to the north, run by their dictator, Trudeau. But the Canadian government, as you know, the Browning high power is the standard sidearm for the military. They're saying we want to now basically upgrade and replace, even though Browning high power is a phenomenal firearm, but they want to replace it. Now they're going to have a surplus of Browning high powers. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to destroy them, because that logically makes sense. Let me bring you into here. Canadian government aims to destroy Browning high power pistols. David Pugliese, the reporter on Canadian Forces military issues, has been following the saga of replacing and destroying the Browning high-power pistols, which have been used by the Canadian military since World War II. Wow. Wow, that's a long run. Most of the pistols were part of the production run done at the end of the war. The Canadian military has been working on the project for many years with David Pugliese. Quote, at the time, the Canadian Forces has 11,896 Browning handguns in its inventory. National Defense spokesperson Dan Labothelier told his newspaper, of those 1,323 are non-functioning. As the Browning 9mm pistol is currently in use, the details of a disposal plan still have to be worked out. Labothelier explained, however, at this time it is anticipated that given the age and wear of the pistol fleet, as well as the fact that the Browning is a restricted firearm and the magazine is a prohibited device, disposal will go through destruction by smelting, he added. Yikes. The magazines of a typical Browning high power put in production in 1935 typically hold 13 rounds. They are forbidden in Canada because that really helped them with gun crime. The Highly Restricted Firearms Act of 1995 was passed into law in an extreme mass murder in Montreal. Because, yeah, having 10 rounds in your gun is going to help you out. It's going to help when it comes to crime, and yeah, these people are idiots. But this case, a semi-automatic rifle was used to commit the murder. The murder was committed by Camille Rodrigo Garby, who changed his name to Mark Lepine because he hated his father. Okay, he got daddy issues. His father had repeatedly beaten the boy before the family broke up when Camille was 7. Camille changed his name to Mark Lepine when he was 13. But handguns with barrels of less than 4 1/8 inches were banned, as were magazines that held more than 10 rounds. No handgun was used in the mass murder. The barrel length was specifically crafted in the law to ban most handguns. Exactly. Browning high powers have a barrel length of 4.7 inches. Okay. I'm going to come right down to here. And this is from the same guy, David Pugliese. The Canadian military plans to destroy 11,000 of its World War II era pistols by the end of this year. The move comes as the Canadian Forces confirmed it has received the final deliveries of new 9mm pistols as part of a $19.4 million project. It's just amazing. They're willing to spend $19.4 million, but they won't sell their surplus handguns to law-abiding citizens through law-abiding means because of fear of crime that they can't control. Figure that out. But The military purchased a SIG P320, which is being distributed to units. It replaces the Browning high-power pistol that has been used by Canadian forces for decades. Now, I'm going to come down to here, and this is kind of capping the whole thing and where this whole thing is, where we're going with this. The service of a high power should be 30,000 to 50,000 rounds. As these pistols are nearly 70 years old, they would have to have been shot about 500 rounds per year to be worn out. This is not an unreasonable figure. If 10 people were qualified on each pistol each year, several veterans said most of the problems they experienced with the pistol were cured when a new magazine was substituted for the old magazine. That's pretty typical. There is a market for these historical guns, especially in the United States. It would ordinarily not be too hard for the Canadian government to sell them to an American distributor. However, with the hard commitment of both the Trudeau administration in Canada and the Biden administration in the United States to proclaim the ownership of pistols, weapons of war, by anyone except the government to be an intrinsic evil, such an eventuality is extremely remote. Let's come out of that. And this kind of echoes what happened. This was not a long time ago, but a few years back. This was my time in retail. The Koreans had come across a surplus of World War II Garands and 1911s. And they, basically said, hey, would you, ship them to the United States, have them, sell them. And of course, it was, Obama, I believe, was in office at the time, and they kiboshed that whole deal, which was really ridiculous. Here we had, in the crate, perfect condition, World War II Garands, and Obama, of course, once again, running his jibs about gun control and safer communities and nonsense, they wouldn't send the guns over, which is a real shame, But this echoes that whole idea. Once again, these are viable guns that can be sold, but because of the attitude of gun ownership, it's not about safety. It's not about safety. It's not about safe communities. It's about the attitude of private gun ownership. That's what drives the whole anti-gun movement. But because of that attitude, that they will not allow the Canadian government to send them down, and pretty much Trudeau probably wouldn't even send them down. He probably wouldn't even offer. Even if we had a president who was constitutionalist, who would allow them to come here, Trudeau still wouldn't send them down. I hope that the Canadian people, after seeing what they've gone through, their time to vote for a new president is coming up too. And Poilievre, hey, that guy's on fire. I really hope the people in Canada politically get their act together, because they're working against their own best interests with a person who seems to be more of a Ming the Merciless than a true leader of the people. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.